Hey, 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 tater tots. Welcome back to Couch Potato Queens. I'm your host, Mackenzie. Tonight, we are diving into RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 12, The Makeover Challenge, where these queens had to turn a bunch of cowboys into their drag family. And baby, some of these families were given chosen and some were given confused cousins at Thanksgiving. We've got some emotional moments, some questionable resemblance on the runway, and a lip sync that definitely happened. Now, before we sashay into RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 12, you already know we got some reality TV mess that we need to address. We're talking Taylor Frankie Paul and that ongoing chaos, plus the latest drama swirling around the Bachelorette, because, baby, the girls outside the workroom are just as messy as the ones inside of it. And joining me, as always, is none other than Joseph Collins. So let's get into it. Hey, girl, hey.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
It has been a week and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's get into talking about the drama that just will not stop hitting our TV screens. Taylor Frankie Paul. What are your thoughts?
Not a lot that wouldn't get bleeped on television. I think ABC. This is the foot lies at the blame lays at the feet of ABC. Like we've talked to Big Brother contestants about the types of background checks and the vetting that they get done before a season goes on, and that's to be a contestant.
Oh yeah.
You can only imagine that type of vetting had to be 2 or 3 times more if you're going to be the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, because they want to have this ideal figure to hold up, something to long towards. They knew. This was out there. They knew what she was capable of. And I'm not saying that she's not a victim of abuse. Or that she's the perpetrator. Abuse can be mutual. It can be mutual abuse. But they knew whether it was about the existence of this video or just the general status of her previous relationship. And they still chose to cast her anyway for I don't know what type of reason they could possibly have.
Well, look, let's be honest about a few things here. First of all, Taylor Frankie Paul, for anyone who doesn't know, Taylor Frankie Paul is on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you've not watched it, you really should. It's a fun train wreck. To me, it's been better than some of the housewives that we have out there. It's so much fun. It's so much drama. It's just all this chaos. The first episode of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Taylor, who you see on your screen, is in a relationship with Dakota, and at the very end of it, she is drunk as a skunk, and the police are there, and she gets arrested for a domestic assault. I believe there was also a child endangerment. I think it was domestic assault, a few other things. She had several charges. And that's why it's so confusing watching the first season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, is because episode 1 happens, and then it's about 13 or 14 months later, episode 2 happens, and then it's about 7 or 8 months later, episode 3 happens. So it's about a span of 2 years in the first 3 episodes. So none of these allegations are new allegations. That's important to me for people to remember about this. Does it make it right what happened? Absolutely not. But she has gone to court. All of her charges were dropped from assault and all these other things to a smaller, lesser charge. And they were trying to move on from it. Now, are they toxic for each other? Yes. But I think it's important to remember too, I find it very shady that this man, who's the father of one of her children, releases this video. Well, he didn't release it. He sold this video to TMZ while he, just was on television saying how much he loved her and for her to save a rose for him at the end of episode or season 4.
See, it would not be a reality TV show shit show story if TMZ didn't manage to find a way to stick its dick somewhere in it. Every stupid controversy we've had for God knows how long, whether it was Riley from last season of Big Brother or a lot of it's Big Brother. Some of it was Survivor a while back, but TMZ always manages to find a way to just fuck up whatever they can.
Oh, yes. But I find it shitty that he's going to release that. I don't know if it's jealousy or what's going on with it, but, all of this outrage and this hate towards her, we already knew because of the season 1 that she had done all this stuff. We did not see this video then. So, I mean, I don't get the point of being outraged. You knew all of this happened. It was all out there. Now the only difference is you're able to see it. But I watched the video. I've been in an abusive relationship like this one before. But to me, it's being recorded and it's being done at an angle where it only shows when she's being aggressive. Okay, what happened before that? We know from other things and other reporting that he had just shoved her and threw her in the floor right before this happened. And so if I had just been shoved and thrown into the floor, I would be a raging bitch too and throwing stools. Not saying it's right. I'm just, and then if you're really trying to protect, yourself and you're worried about her child, why would you move closer to her sleeping child when she's throwing things at you? It just all feels like a little bit of a setup to me,
And all of this could have been avoided by just not casting her in the first place. Y'all knew about this.
Exactly. You took a risk by casting her because you are owned. Hulu is owned by ABC. ABC 100% knew that this had happened. They also knew about the allegations of abuse because Dakota had said some things in one of the reunions and they cast out all of his, accusations in the reunion and didn't air them. And all the executives were in the room for that. So it's not like you didn't know it was coming. And it wasn't like you didn't know it was out there. Instead of exploiting them, if you had maybe helped get them some counseling or help them navigate through some of this, maybe it wouldn't have turned as toxic as it is. And somebody wants to know, would we have watched The Bachelorette if they didn't cast her, though? No, I probably wouldn't have. But she is a train wreck to watch, and she's fun to watch because of how much of a train wreck she is. I mean, I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's true.
I mean, but you also, there are plenty of train wrecks out there. I think the only thing The Bachelor is going to be able to do to kind of redeem themselves, and hear me out, ABC, like, her contract's up in 6 months. Maura Higgins. That's it. That's the only thing that you're going to be able to do is you're going to have to give us Maura in order to make up for this, because you're going to need something equally that was going to draw just to break even on this season, because so much money has already went into the production of this. The Bachelor is actually one of the most expensive reality shows to film. Trading is fairly cheap because they're all in one little isolated location. It's all like pretty much on the grounds of one castle or right about that area. The Bachelor, they're flying across country constantly.
Well, and the last thing I'm going to say before we move on to Drag Race and start covering that is, people are all upset about, oh, well, this is supposed to be for love. Bull fucking shit. The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are some of the worst when it comes to couples actually being together for the right reason. If you want something that's love-based, then go and watch Love is Blind on Netflix. They have a better track record of couples that are staying together and have been together long-term than The Bachelor or The Bachelorette does combined. So,
you know what has the biggest? Big Brother. Big Brother has the best long-term record of relationships. You want to meet a man? We don't ever say this because we hate when we see it. We hate to see a showman's coming.
Yes.
But if you want to meet a man, you're honestly better off going on Big Brother or Survivor than you are on The Bachelor.
So they've said Amazon is working on a Real Housewives type show. That'll be interesting to see if they can pull that off. And did we hear about Real Housewives OG Miami also got paused or canceled again? Look, I'm thinking, and I this is just my opinion, but the more that you have these reality shows where the contestants' mental health takes a back seat to, ratings, this is what you're going to get, because you can only push someone to be the worst version of themselves before it explodes and implodes and everything crashes and burns to the ground.
Honestly, I think that's why I like Secret Lives so much. I think the reason that the gaps between the episodes are so much is because they're not feeding them storylines.
Yeah.
They're having to wait the months and months.
They don't have to feed them storylines.
Well, it still takes months and months to organically get the footage of these storylines developing. They don't just and they're Mormons, so half of them you can't even just throw them a box of wine and say, have at it, girls, like you can on Housewives.
Yep. All right, y'all, let's get into the drag race of it all. What did you think about this week's episode?
I hated it. I absolutely hated it. This is a bad week for reality television. We got the Zach Brown episode of Survivor, the Mike White boot. They got rid of Mike White. And we got this episode of the makeover episode of Drag Race, which is always feast or famine. There's never a mediocre makeover episode. It's either terrible or it's the best episode of the season.
Yeah, it was not my favorite Drag Race episode. I mean, there were some aspects that I enjoyed about it, but there were others that I was just like, and I don't agree with the results. So I mean, yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting show, to say the least. So let's get into talking about it. Heading into the 12th episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, 6 girls remain and are fighting for the crown. Last week's episode, the toast for Alyssa Edwards, can you please hers? Charisma was not enough to save her from my 4th bottom placement, and she became the 3rd victim of lip sync assassin Juicy Love Dion. And Darlene Mitchell scored her first Maxi Challenge win, and Jane Dawn extended her series record 10 consecutive weeks with a top placement. Yeah, what do you think? That's an impressive record for Jane Dawn.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I have words, and I try to avoid spoilers within our own show, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and look, I'm just gonna say this. I am sick of queens being given passes just because they're pretty or they're the new one. And I'm talking about Juicy Love Dion. But, Juicy just keeps getting all of these passes. And before you know it, we're at the top 5 and top 6. And, she should have been gone weeks ago. But instead,
we got Kenya and Juicy. And now, you have to get rid of one, but that means you still got the other.
Yeah. Yep. So this week, the queens are going to be saddling up for a Western themed week. And the workroom, RuPaul comes in and has the queens put on their best lady cowboy quick drag to compete in a blow up horse challenge. And when this man came out looking like this, I was
Save a horse.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. So the queens had to get into quick drag with supplies that were supplied by Drag Race. And there was some interesting looking hoes. That's all I gotta say. Some interesting looking hoes. Darlene Mitchell, huh?
Is there any chance you get to see Darlene in a breastplate is worth it?
Yeah. Darlene Mitchell was funny because Darlene said, "We are all looking like the nastiest county fair you have ever seen, and I feel right at home." It was the queens. It was a photo finish between Nene and Discord, but Discord managed to cross the line first to score her second mini challenge win. Or in Discord land, as Discord said, 2 mini challenges equals 1 main challenge win. So I am now in I'm in the running. Look.
She's making fun of Lucy LaDuca here so hard, and I love it. She's self-aware of it, though.
I love the fact, though, that she is so fucking delusional, and she knows that she's delusional. So it's like we're in on the joke with her. Like, she knows that she's full of shit, but she makes it like to where we love it because we're in on the joke too. And I love that.
What was that about? I saw something flash on the screen. I thought it was a question.
Oh, no. Sophie Duffy said, "Wow, Joseph was quiet. That's rare."
Oh, okay. No, there's a lot to say, but this is a very backing heavy episode. It's a very backing heavy episode.
Yeah. So this week, the rodeo is coming to town when 6 queer cowboys enter the workroom to transform into the newest drag family members of the queens. So RuPaul brought in the posse of queer cowboys, Colton, Greg, Michael, Jason, Terry, and Chris to serve as the canvases for the staple Drag Family Resemblance Makeover Challenge. And as the winner of the mini challenge, Discord was able to select her partner and assign the pairs for each of the other queens. So for let's see, and here's all the cowboys. Colton from Manford, Oklahoma, Greg from Phoenix, Arizona, Michael from Denver, Colorado, Jason from Tessenberg, Colorado, Terry from Melbourne, Ohio, and Chris from Yale, Ohio. So just based off of the Cowboys' looks alone, who would you have wanted to be paired with just off the look?
Terry, 1000%. If you are presented an older person, you always take the older person. At the very least, you're going to be safe. And there's a lot of upside to it.
Yep.
There's always they've always got a story. They've always got a story, and Rue always wants to hear that story.
Yeah. I like Terry as well. And if Terry had not been available, I think I would have been going for Colton just because of his facial features. He didn't have a heavy beard. So for me, it would have been easier to transform him into a pretty woman. Yeah. So we find out that she chose Colton for herself. So Discord got Colton. Then she created partnerships of Jane and Terry. So this was Terry, Mikey and Michael, Darlene and Chris. Chris was towards the end. Yep, that's Darlene and Chris, and Nene and Jason, and Juicy and Greg. So who were you most excited about seeing the pairs?
Honestly, I knew whatever Jane was going to do, it was going to be passable. I was happy that she got Terry. So I was actually most excited for Juicy because I wanted to see how prepared she was for this because she's so petite and she was given such a bigger person, someone with much broader shoulders than she has.
Yep. During the first couple of meets with their rodeo boys, Darlene was relieved to learn that Chris was willing to go with her as 2 trashy girls in Vegas theme. Discord thought that she had picked the perfect canvas for herself because of the similar facial features. Jane thought Discord gave her the most difficult transformation with the oldest guy among them. The revelation that Terry also had a mullet exemplified how quickly she was able to bond with him. Jason then confessed to Nene complicated feelings about his own femininity, and it excited Nene to be able to usher him through pulling the mask down. And then Juicy's challenge was to adjust the garments she brought for this challenge to fit a man unexpectedly larger than her own shape.
And everyone had a storyline. I love that. This started out so good. You had a storyline for everyone.
Yep. We are good, Mary. How are you? And Mary said, I love Discord's makeover. I don't give a fuck. I actually agree with you, Mary. And we're going to get to that here in just a few minutes. Yeah. So what did you think about all the storylines?
I think that it's the first time, like, you could have done this during the roast. This episode, you're finally down to 6 people. You maybe could have started assigning like more time to each queen when you got to 7, but I'm glad that they chose to do it here, because there's a lot of times with these makeovers, the storyline is, oh, I hate that I got this person. No one hates that they got the person. It's okay, how do we overcome these challenges? So there's not as much negativity around it, and the people who are just here, who are not professional people on a reality show competition, they are guests, they are props, they're not being shit on by people who are the contestants. So I'm glad that there wasn't any of that.
Yep. I also loved one of the quotes that Juicy loved it. She said, what a real drag queen does is shave her armpits and shave her chest, unless you're Nene Coco. And I thought it was hilarious that these cowboys were more shady and cutthroat than the queens were themselves.
Yeah, this whole season, like, I didn't realize they were that catty.
Yeah. Honey, them cowboys was reading each other for fucking filth left and right, and I was living for it. I fucking loved it.
Can you imagine, like, getting up, like, you're going into the gate and they drop you, and the last thing you hear is, I hope it throws you off, fag, and then just having to go? Like, that it must be a hell of a time at the gay rodeo. Like, this sounds like something I would actually want to see.
Yeah. RuPaul had a lot of questions for the cowboys when she dropped in to check in on the pairs. And she learned a lot from a lot of different people. Let's see. Jesse said, World of Wonder should make some kind of a gay cowboy show. I would fucking yes. 1,000,000% yes.
The secret is that this has been a backdoor pilot the whole time, because some of them are from the same states in the same areas. So, like, 2 of them are from Ohio, 2 of them are from Colorado, so you could already follow them.
Yeah. Well, and, according to what Nene said on Roscoe's recap, all of the cowboys brought them gifts, and they got like rhinestone buckles and all this other stuff from some of them. But apparently the cowboys also have their own houses, like drag houses. So they're all part of big families and houses, and, they have their own like community thing. So honestly, I think that would be a fun show to be able to watch.
I think there's an idea here, and I just hope that Ru sees it, because Ru's married to a gay cowboy. Ru should already know this.
Yeah. Well, and, RuPaul watches our podcast. So, Ru, when you watch it and you see this, then, just hop on in, girl. You can gladly steal our ideas. We just want a co-executive producer credit for it. Thanks. Mary said Sarge is the only straight who ate his episode. Heated rivalry, Cowboy Edition. The Fracking Diaries.
Oh God.
Mary said, honestly, I would do whatever I want since the judges always play on the girls' faces and ours. Yeah. Hi. Hiya, bub. Excuse me. So, I thought this was just, RuPaul RuPaul, we learned that from Chris that a steer is a cow without nuts. That was funny. Let's see.
Do you have a ranch and know what a steer is?
Huh?
How do you own a ranch and not know what a steer is?
RuPaul's there for the look. She's not. She's there for the dick and the fracking. She's not there for knowing anything about no cows. We also found out from Colton that pole bending involves hearing a bull's heartbeat through his butthole. We also found out that Michael has already been in drag as Miss International Gay Rodeo 2000. And then when it came for ideas for the challenge itself, RuPaul has warned Discord that her clueless theme was entering dangerous territory and that she would need to show a strong resemblance as drag sisters. If RuPaul had given you that advice after you told her what you were going to do, would you go on with what you were going to do or would you change it?
You can't change it. I have a feeling, we've seen what Discord packed. A lot of it's very bulky. I don't think she packed a backup.
Yeah, I agree. And that's just, well, and we'll get to that when we get to the looks, but it's like, if you're going to force a drag family and like, they got to look just like the like, then I don't understand some of our winners on some of these episodes.
I would like to see a return to basics where the Drag Family Resemblance episode is also a design challenge. Let's make it full circle, and you got to make this shit. You can't bring it and just like shake it out of the bag like a Halloween costume. You've got to make these costumes.
Mary said Nene didn't even try on her makeover. I will disagree with you there. I think Nene did try. Did Nene borrow her looks from Kenya? But yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Michael here explained to Mikey that he stopped doing his own passion for drag because he found it hard to balance his out of drag identity with it. And I didn't really think about it, but I guess it's true. Like for cowboys, so many of them do have to be this rough and tough cowboy look. And I mean, that femininity is not really something that you see in that.
Which is, I mean, they've got a clown there. I wonder what the gay rodeo clown is like. That's the untold story of this episode. Is it a butch clown or is it a femme clown? Where do they fit into this spectrum?
Girl, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. As the queens are getting ready and put into drag, Jason talks to Nene and gives him the story of a fellow soldier in the military, Barry Winchell. I ain't gonna lie, on this I started crying. If you've never seen the movie Soldier's Girl, you need to watch it. It's a true story. Calpurnia Adams, she is a proud trans woman. She was on a dating show on I don't even think it was Out TV then. What was it back in the day?
Was it
Logo? Yeah, it was on Logo. Trans American Love Story, and it was a dating show. Calpurnia was trans, and she was working in Nashville at the club, and she met a military guy. They fell in love. They started dating, and he started getting a lot of hate from the men in his unit because he was in the military. And Jason said that he was one of his friends there. That he had to hide being, black, and gay and Jewish because it was just not safe for him to be any of those things.
Oh, he really just hit
married to be dating a trans woman. Huh?
I said he really just hit like the worst combination of things to be around homophobic people in Nashville. Like that's like the lottery of like things that terrible people hate.
Yeah. And I mean, it is a beautiful love story. And I think it was like 4th of July. But it was like some holiday weekend. They were, drinking, got drunk, and Barry Winchell's roommate got very intoxicated and gathered a couple of other guys, and they went in the room and they took a baseball bat and they beat Barry to death. And I mean, if you've never seen the movie, I would honestly, you should watch it. Again, it's called Soldier's Girl. It is a true story. It is very graphic, but I mean, again, this is the reality of the world that we live in. But part of the story he was talking about was having to hide his true self and mourning a friend out of self-protection with an oppressive hypermasculine system. The story shared across the room cemented the queens how meaningful a makeover challenge was to the drag community. But I just thought that was just a very beautiful moment, and I appreciated more that Nene understood the gravity of it and showed the emotion, What were your thoughts?
It was sad. I mean, it was the 90s. It was 1999. And, like, it was a different time. This was still, like, don't ask, don't tell. Like, it's a different world. Like, it's so hard to talk about this crap to younger people because they just wouldn't believe it. It sounds so unbelievable that you'd go, no. I mean, this is fiction.
Nope. It is not, unfortunately. We get ready for the main stage, and it's going to be RuPaul Michelle, along with guest judges Law Roach and Danielle Pinnock. I think all the judges look good except for Michelle Visage, and Michelle Visage looked like she had dry humped a piano. Or a butler. I don't know what the fuck that look was, but all the rest of them I thought looked great. And can we talk about Law Roach for a second as a judge?
Was he he was consistent for the first time in his life.
Well, he was, but Discord has called him out in a recent interview and said that every time that he was on that stage or critiquing any of the girls, it was never anything positive. It was never anything that they could take and nothing constructive that they could work on, that it was always nasty and negative.
It's the Project Runway. I told y'all earlier this season, yep. He's gotten so into he has to be the bad guy on Project Runway so that someone else can be the good guy on Project Runway. And he's bringing that to Drag Race. And it's not good it's great for Project Runway. It really is. Yeah. But it's not good for Drag
Love
Race.
Him on Project Runway. Hate him as a judge on Drag Race. I don't know what it is, but I do. All right, let's get into these looks. First up, we have Nene Coco and hold on, I'm trying to find my overlays. Oh, here it is. Nene Coco and Patsy Coco. What did you think?
It's a popcorn pass. The only reason that it is not it's not the worst for me is every inch of that is rhinestone. It shines. It's still pretty in its way. And we have seen far worse makeovers by far better queens on this show.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I want to mop it because I would wear, if you're going to do something like wings, and we're going to look at what Kenya did like last week with her little wings, I like this better than what I liked with what Kenya did. However, it was not cohesive. And, like not even their makeup looked similar. Like it was a similar style, but the colors were off. Everything was, it was just, and I also was like, wait, what is that? And it took me a minute to realize it was a worm because of the backpack that she had on with it. So I'm also going to do popcorn pass. And that's sad because I would have loved to have seen more, or bring another and have two butterflies, and be, have the story, we came up as worms and now we're two beautiful butterflies, and just have two butterfly looks out there. That would have been better for me. But yeah. Next up we have Mikey Meeks and Morgan Meeks. And what did you think of this?
It's a popcorn pass. Like, I know that it got a lot of praise. I think her dress is beautiful. I think the cocktail dress should have hit the floor. I don't like it. I hate her partner's dress. She did good by herself and not as good by her partner. Now, whether that's because she had to make alterations to it because her partner is about 8 inches taller than she is an entirely different story. That's probably why this happened. But it's also why I would like to see us going back to making these outfits in the workroom, because this happens far too often.
Yeah. This is almost a tranny mess for me. The only reason I'm not going to tranny mess it is because the makeup, they do look like they're related. That was the point of the challenge. I wish that she had not done as big of a lip on her as she did, because it looks like she just went and ate, a bear's asshole and has shit all around her mouth.
Nom nom.
And I also don't like the different, like the nude gloves on Mikey and the dark gloves on the other one.
They could have matched gloves. Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't even think about the gloves, but yeah. Or if you're not going to do a nude glove, do like a bright white glove so that it's black and white instead of black and nude.
Yeah. Otherwise it's the popcorn pass for me. It's just, yeah. Mary says, Mikey's looks are so forgettable. The only look that I remember from Mikey is her Drew Barrymore.
I disagree. I completely disagree. I think the clear plastic was genius. I think her
one from last week, when the Gone with the Wind, with the orange suit with the stuff flowing in the background. But I get what you mean, is sometimes, when I'm having to go through and I do all the screenshots for all this, sometimes Mikey's is the one that I forgot, or was like one of the, and I love seeing her, like her makeup to me is some of the best makeup that's on that stage.
So, by the way, I did go back and look at it. I joked about it being a fitted bed sheet, and no, it straight up was. Juicy's, I like went back and like saw all the clips. It straight up was a fitted bed sheet. I don't know what happened. There is like some lost footage there, or some lost luggage there.
Like I said, I feel like they got there. She saw what everyone else had for that. Because, when they're not on her camera, they're probably like, oh, this is what I brought for this runway. This is what I did for this runway. And she's looking at it and she's like, oh, you know what? I don't have near what I thought that I had, And yeah.
Cut the elastic. She could have at least cut the elastic off of it.
I don't know how to send a text, because I had my niece texting me, asking me a question. I'm like, I'm on my podcast. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just yeah. Moving on along, we have Juicy. Speaking of Juicy, we have Juicy Love Dion and Lucy Love Dion. What did you think of them?
This is Slay of the Day. This is absolutely the best thing that went down this runway. It's campy. It's like she said, it's paying homage to Afro-Cuban heritage. It's very Carmen Miranda, and that's kind of her bag. Is the whole like Miami shtick. So you get the family Dion. This doesn't just give you like Juicy and her daughter. This gives you the family Dion.
Cool. I am gonna mop this. I thought she was beautiful. I was the most worried for Juicy coming into this, because she's not the most confident. But I mean, she did stamp that mug right up on top of her fucking face, and so, you know, cool. I did see the Celia Cruz reference, and I agreed with that. So yeah, I would mop it. Let's see. Next up, we have Jane Don't and Maybe Don't. What are your thoughts on the don'ts?
Maybe Don't looks younger in drag than Athena Dion did several times this season.
Yep.
Jane, and did you notice Jane aged herself up?
Yeah.
For this, Jane is a genius when it comes to this, because she aged her partner down, somehow stretched his face to give us this.
Yeah.
And then she aged herself up. The fabrics are, and I don't give a fuck what Michelle said, the fabrics are complementary. They have the same sheen to them. They are opposing colors. So they share an accessory, which is the feather boa. And I see the resemblance. You can look at the way that the blush is placed high on the cheek for both of them. Even though he has more prominent cheekbones than she does, the way that they compensated for that is she had it go further down and his stopped about halfway. So it gave them, like, she understood the assignment. She did the damn job. And Michelle was wrong. Michelle was just wrong. And I think La Roche was right. And I think it has to do a lot with the fact that Michelle knows what the storyline needs to be. A lot of people forget Michelle Visage has an executive producer credit on this. Michelle is not just there acting as a judge. Michelle is there acting as a producer.
Yeah.
And so Michelle has a story to tell. La Roche does not. La Roche gets paid the same regardless of whether his critique is a good faith critique or a bad faith critique.
Yep. So
And this is a Muppet. It's a Muppet. It's good. And I see the resemblance, and I love the sorcery that she performed on Terry.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think Michelle Visage is smoking meth. Because she obviously is off on this. I thought this was one of the best looks of the night, not one of the bottom looks. Very complimentary, like you said. Terry looked young, looked comfortable. And Jane, throughout the entire episode, did everything she could, not only to get to know Terry, but to make sure that Terry was comfortable, to work with him. So for that reason alone, this is my slay of the day.
And Terry bantered on the runway. Terry, like,
but
if you banter with RuPaul,
that fucking young and snatched,
he looks younger than Charlie Hides did.
Yes, 1000%. Yeah. So I mean, I just this is one of the ones I don't get. I mean, like, I get that, after so many, they're like, oh, wow, she's been in the top for 11 episodes. We got to knock her down a peg. But like, yeah. So next up we have, sorry, there was their closer up look. Next up we have Discord Adams and Harmony Adams. What did you think? Oh, and here was the Discord cam of both of them walking. Love it. But what'd you think?
It's not nearly. I liked it. It's a Muppet. I don't understand the hate. I get the opposites theme. Like the whole point is you either go like total opposites to where you're clashing and you're the sisters that are opposites attract type thing, or you're pretty much identical. Like think Jada Essence Hall,
Yeah.
in her season when she won it.
I'm so glad
So
you said that because y'all don't get it. We don't talk before these episodes, so we have no idea what each other's ratings are or anything. So like, I 100% agree. This would have been close to a slay of the day for me because out of everyone, even when they were in Untucked, there were moments where, they were sitting there and I was thinking that, he was Discord. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's not Discord. I mean, that was a fucking stamp of her mug on his fucking face.
yeah, I thought it was Discord. I didn't know if Discord was wearing the black. I thought she'd given the black
Yes.
to her partner.
Same. And, the only reason that she was not my slay of the day is because I did not like the shoulder things that was going on with her outfit. I understood it. I just didn't like it as much. But I thought for Jane to make Terry look as young as she did, and she had more work to do with it. I felt like that was just that for me was the better one. But this was definitely a high moppet. Not something that I would have thought would have been in the bottom whatsoever.
I mean, the storyline's got to go. This is why the only thing that we discussed before this was how I thought this episode perfectly showcased how they fucked up the boot order so bad and they had to get rid of Discord even if she did well. Because otherwise she should have been gone either last episode or the next episode. But because they got rid of Athena too early, they couldn't get rid of Athena on this episode. This would have been the perfect episode to just dump her.
Mary said, same, Kenzie. I thought Discord was the pink. She also said, this was my winner, sugar and spice. Yep. So next up we have Darlene Mitchell and Bonnie Mitchell. What'd you think?
I loved it. It's a moppet. It is so trashy. Like, I get that she's done trash. But she's alternated between glamour and trash and glamour and trash. And she showed us versatility. So I'm fine with her going like full trash. I mean, one of them has a cigarette, don't you? Like that may be my only critique. I think they both should have had cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like it's almost a meh for me, but only because I've seen this from Darlene, so it's like, it's almost like Sharon Needles in a way, like on Sharon's season where she kept giving goth, and Darlene keeps giving white trash. Like at some point I want to see something a little different. And like you said, she has switched back and forth some, but to me, not as much. Like almost every single look, except for two of them that I could just think of off the top of my head. The one from last week with Gone with the Wind, and then the runway where she had that big, the shake thing, where it was like shaking, it was like the tinsel. Those were the two most high glamour looks that I think she's, had this season. But I'm going to give it a moppet just because Bonnie sold it on the stage. Bonnie was more entertaining than Darlene was. And for me, stole the show.
And her mug. Darlene's face has never looked better, and I think it's because it's on someone else.
Yeah. But here's the thing that's pissing me off with it, is when we're looking at judges' critiques, they read they read Jane up one side and down the other because their outfits didn't match. Well, neither did their fucking outfits match. The top was maybe a similar color, but the bottom, one's wearing blue and one's wearing orange. One's got a skirt and one doesn't. Their hair is
50 million accessories, none of which are the same.
Their hair are both different shades. Like their makeup looks similar, but other than that, that's it. But everybody else's makeup looks similar except for one. So, I mean, like, if you're going to give the same critique, at least be consistent across the board. And so for that reason alone, that's why I would place this as a meh. But I mean, I'm still going to give it a Moppet, but it's more of a meh for me because you didn't match. You know, if you're wanting matchy-matchy, well, this is not matchy-matchy. Sorry about it.
It just depends on if we're using whose standards we're using to judge, which there are no standards for this challenge. This challenge is the challenge where you get rid of who you want to get rid of for story purposes.
Yeah, and then here it is
Always
zoomed
has
out.
been, always
One's
will.
got a leopard print miniskirt, one's got a black miniskirt. Like, they don't look like they are distant third cousins, if that. Or they're both lot lizards. They are both lot lizards at the, you know, the Love's truck stop.
But there at least there's a story there. I'd say there's more of a story here than there is with Mikey's.
Mary said, I need her to give us a look that is not trash because it has become an excuse for not good drag. And, you know, I agree with you, Mary. Like, you know, she's enjoyable to watch, but again, when we've had some of the great drag that's come down the runway stage of some of these other queens, like, it does not even stack up against some of these other queens. So if she was in an all-star season where, you know, some of these queens are bringing, you know, $10,000 plus looks, I mean, it's just, she's not going to be able to stack up against it. And Mary said, yeah, we know the judges are going to do whatever they want this episode. Yep. So with that said, who would have been your top 2 picks for this week?
It would have been Juicy and I think it'd be Juicy and Darlene. Like, at least it was Juicy above and beyond everyone else for me. And then Darlene, like, below that. And then Jane third. But I don't think Jane should have been anywhere near the bottom.
I felt like Jane and Discord should have been the top 2. I don't think Mikey should have been in the top. I don't think Nene should have been in the top. And I think Darlene should have been close to the bottom. If we're going by Drag Family Resemblance and they've got a matchy, then, you know, those 3 would have been my bottom 3. Then Jane, Discord, and Jane, Discord,
Juicy.
and Juicy would have been in the top 3. Yep.
That's exactly where I am.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I can interchange Discord and Darlene, but I don't think either of them were near as bad as how much I didn't like Mikey's. But Mikey had a good story. It was appropriate. Their person had a good story. They had a good story. Like, I get why they did this.
Yep. But we find out that Mikey Meeks is the winner of this week's episode. How? I will never fucking understand. And this is coming from someone that loves Mikey. I enjoy Mikey. I love seeing her on the stage, but I
think Mikey has been robbed of wins in the past. There are challenges where Mikey should have won that she didn't.
Yep. We find out that the bottom 3 are Discord, Jane Don't, and Nene Coco. Again, disagree 1,000%. Except for Nene Coco. I do think Nene Coco should have been there.
Not only that, I think Nene Coco, I think this would have been the perfect place to cut her. No matter how this lip sync went. I think this was a good spot to cut her.
Yep. The song that they lip sync to was so we find out, of course, Discord and Nene are both in the bottom 2, and they lip sync to "We Can't Be Friends" by Ariana Grande. And Mary says Discord Mango won that lip sync. Yeah, that lip sync was very interesting. There's one point where I didn't think Discord knew the words for a second, and then I realized that she did. It's hard because I like Nene, but
I do too.
You know, I feel like Nene glided across the stage a little bit more And I feel like Discord was trying to. I think she was trying to park and bark and do a little bit. But one of my favorite parts was this part right here, where they both kind of were looking at each other, and that I enjoyed. Like, this would have been one where I wish they had done a double save on this instead of doing the double save on Kenya and Juicy.
I really, really like the queens this season. It is nothing that we say about what they're wearing or what kind of, what they're bringing to the runway of the challenges discounts from the fact that these are all pretty decent people. Like, not just as drag queens. Like, these are nice people. They like each other very clearly. This cast has chemistry.
Yeah.
Having chemistry doesn't mean fighting all the time in Drag Race. Sometimes it does mean like being able to work well together and kind of giving us this look that we're seeing right here.
Yeah.
During a lip sync. This screams, I don't want to send you home. Like, I like you. So it's sad.
And one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier about, Nini's look, because I've called other queens out for doing the same thing all the time. I'm sick of seeing her in head fucking pieces. Wear something that's got a wig, put a fascinator on your head or something, but have on a fucking wig. Wear a fucking wig.
I'm pretty sure Juicy had on a wig this week too. Like, even with the giant headpiece she had, there was a wig.
Oh, she had on a wig, but she had on another pussycat wig.
That's fine. If you've got a giant headpiece, like,
yeah,
that's fine. There's hair there.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let me get back to here.
Oh my god, the way that they did this.
Yeah, of course, Discord is going to be sent home, and we get one more Discord cam of Discord sashaying away, and then Discord says, "See you at All Stars," which I love because I definitely think she has earned her place on an All Star season.
Last season we had the Piggy of the Week. She is the butthole of the season. She is the second coming of Lydia Butthole Collins. She went out in the same place Lydia did. She went out in sixth, which sixth place is normally we kept you around because you're entertaining, whether you won challenges or not. She's good television. I like Discord, and I want to see her on All Stars. And I think she'll be the first filler call the second someone drops out. They're not going to call her right away. She's not going to be the first choice, but she'll be the first person that's going to show up, and she'll have her own outfits made.
Her goodbye message says, "In Discord land, I could be in the top 2 next week. Love y'all so much. You've changed my life. Eat the rich, Black Lives Matter, and protect trans lives." Like, love it. I also love the fact that she. So this also was in memory of Terry Covington, because Terry did pass away last week, right before the filming of this episode. And there are some nasty ass fucking people out in the world, because people are who disagree with Discord being eliminated have been going on to Terry's obituary and making nasty posts saying Discord shouldn't be sent home. And Discord even had to make a comment about it and be like, "Look, if you're doing something like this, that is nasty. You should never go and put anything on someone's obituary." Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's disgusting. Like, how do you people sleep at night? Like, these are the same types of people who've been after, like, Francois Arnault from Heated Rivalry, and like this the Club Chalamet types. I absolutely hate parasocial fans. Like, all of you need to just rot.
Yep. So next week is going to be a improv challenge of Karen's Gone Wild. Should be fun.
Everyone's saying they fear for Jane. I don't.
Well, all the spoilers out there, because spoilers come back right around now, and all the spoilers say that this is allegedly the one that she goes home on. But I'm just going to say right now, if that fucking happens and Juicy fucking stays, or if Juicy stays over her, then this whole competition is bullshit. This is your 4th time in the bottom, and then one person who has been in the top almost every single week. No.
I think that the spoilers are wrong. And the reason that I think that the spoilers are wrong is the spoilers didn't have her in the top as many times as she's been. The spoilers had her kind of like riding towards the bottom, like she was going to be the last one to go, and they were wrong. So
I hope so. I really do hope so. So we were talking about Discord. I just want to give a shout out. Like we found out in her Hey Queen, Hey, that every single one of her looks she pretty much made with her partner, and with every single look it was $100 or less every single look, and she spent right at $1,000 on her entire package for Drag Race.
And they gave them a $5,000 stipend, so she got to pocket $4,000 and gave us runway looks that did not miss. She never missed, not one time.
The looks that we see on the one on the far left, the clown one, is going to be a reveal look. And it would have been this hooker clown thing underneath. So that makes me think the next challenge is going to be a tearaway challenge, because several queens before now have had something that they said would be something underneath something else. The one in the middle we saw, of course, the Eats the Rich look. And I'm going to hide the comments so we can see the one on the far. The one on the far right it has her name all over it in white paint. And there are safety pins all over that entire dress.
I'm thinking that her finale look, or was going to be her finale look for the final runway for top 4. And it may still
Mary
be.
said, not to me dragging Darlene again, but if Discord did that, why are her looks so damn cheap? Discord looks are that cheap because she's upcycling. So she's going to she's going to thrift stores, she's getting material or items, and she's repurposing them and reusing them instead of going and buying new fabric and things like that. And so, I mean, hey, again, all of her looks look great. So good for her. Let's see. Next we have we're gonna look at some of the queens, old queens who've gone home look. This is Didi Fuego, and this would have been her Gone in the Wind look. It would not have been as good as some of the other queens, but I mean, it's still, that would have been pretty seeing that fly in the wind.
It's not a bad sheet.
Yeah. And I think we're all going to be saying that from here on out. Wasn't a bad sheet. At least it wasn't a bad sheet. This is Mandy Mangoes, and she was a bowl of ramen.
I love this. Like, I'm sure that the noodles would have looked better if we could see it like going down the runway with the wind.
Oh, okay, Mary. I understand what you meant. Yeah, I agree. This is a very like busy look though. Like, yeah. Mandy ate mango.
A lot of these early outs, like, I'm so sad they didn't get to show a lot of this off.
This would have been Briar Blushes. And yeah, glad she didn't get to show that, because I mean, that was very simple compared to some of the other queens. This would have been for the makeover look. This was what Sierra Mist was going to try to do, is do a Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein.
This would have ate. This absolutely would have ate.
Yep. And then Athena also showed what she would have done, and she would have brought stuff to have done Mount Olympus and, goddesses, also would have ate. More on the simple side of eating, but I mean, it's I mean, something good to go with, sometimes simpler is better. And then here finally we have our track record.
I love how they still have Jane here as safe, not bottom.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, she wasn't in the bottom two, so this is the
This is only accounting for wins, losses, and bottom two.
Yeah, this is Wiki's chart. So yeah. Like Darlene, though, Darlene has had a pretty good. She's safe. One win. Her track record isn't as good as but like look at Discord. Discord's with safe as well. So her and Darlene were right at the same. With all of it.
Discord could very well win, or Darlene could very well win an improv challenge. So I think maybe next week she gets her second win.
Yeah.
I fear for Juicy though. Juicy can't banter. She's not her mama, and she's not her grandmama.
And she's not funny, and she's not had a win since the first half of the competition, and she's been in the bottom 3 times. So yeah.
But she looks so pretty in the bottom. Like, I think she should have won this episode too, which is like another thing. Like, she could have won this episode. Whether or not she's had a win doesn't matter as much to me because the judging has been so off lately. Who cares? Who's given the vibes? Who's given best television?
But right now we've got, Nene and Mikey tied with 2 wins each, and they both have 1 bottom placement each. Then we have Jane with 3 wins, almost 4 because she was in the top 2 for another one. And always safe, never in the bottom. And then we have Darlene with 1 win. And then I would say in the bottom, even though she's got 2 wins, it's Juicy, but 2 wins, but 3 bottoms. I mean, come on, girl. And last but not least, as our rankings, I took the first hit with my team. And so it is just still between me and Sam. I believe I'm going to lose 1 and Sam's going to lose 1. I think Darlene will be in the finale. I think Nene and Mikey are going to be in the finale. At this moment, it just depends on if it's going to be, to me, if it's going to be Jane or if it's going to be Juicy that go home. I believe it's from the spoilers. It's one of those 2. So
I think I feel so bad because we used to have good finales. We used to have finales where RuPaul just made a decision. I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how this is going to work.
Well, and yeah, we shall see. I don't know. Oh, all right. Well, what is your predictions at the moment? Who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win next week?
I think Darlene's going to win next week. Darlene is funny. It's improv. They'll put her in a trailer. She'll be funny and trashy, and it'll be great. It'll be good television.
I think she's going to be at the top. Just that would make the most sense because they're going to want to try to even up the score as much as possible, and that would have pretty much everybody with 2 wins except for Jane, who's got 3. And I'm hoping like hell that it's Juicy that goes home because to me, all the rest of them deserve to be there. None of them have been in the bottom like Juicy has.
And I wouldn't care who they crowned if everyone went in and it felt fairly even. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. Same. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about this evening?
I just know Sam has got to be absolutely devastated about The Bachelorette, and I feel so sorry for him. I'm sending him and his partner thoughts and prayers.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Let me pull up. So where can people follow you at on social media?
You can follow me at Nosferatu425 on Blue Sky, where I am worshiping the ground that Cerie Fields walks on.
And y'all can follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Kinsey_reality. And while you're out there following people on things, you can follow us on Facebook. You can like the Couch Potato Queens on Twitter at Couch Potato QWNZ, Instagram Couch Potato Queens. You can subscribe to our channel at Couch Potato Queens on YouTube. While you're there, like, comment, and subscribe. You can also visit our website at couchpotatoqueens.com. And if you have content that you want to send to us, or if you want to collaborate with any of the queens, you can email us at info@couchpotatoqueens.com. And we are going to be back here same time, same place next week for season 12 or season 18, episode 13. Karen's Gone Wild. That should be a very fun and interesting episode. Too bad they didn't invite me to come along, because I could have unleashed my inner Karens. And just like that, another queen is ridden off into the sunset, and the finale is right around the corner. And keep your eyes peeled, because any day now we should be getting the cast reveal for All Stars. Is it 11?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah,
I had to think about that for a minute.
I mean, I think we all know who's going to be in it. It's pretty much not that much of a secret anymore, but it's right around the corner as well. Huge thank you to Joseph for joining me tonight, and thank you, Tater Tots, for hanging out with us. Be sure once again to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because you know we're about to have opinions. Until next time, stay shady, and remember to always wear your crowns. Bye, y'all.